Zephyrus, echoes of the abyss. In the ancient and cursed land of Akkadia, where the shadows whispered of forgotten magic and the very air was tinged with malevolence, there resided a djinn of immense power and unfathomable sorrow. His name was Zephyrus, and his existence was entwined with the dark mysteries of the world. Zephyrus was not like other djinn, he did not revel in granting wishes, nor did he seek to bring joy to mortals. Instead, he roamed the desolate wastes and haunted ruins, his ethereal form wreathed in an aura of impending doom. It was said that those who encountered him would be overcome by a profound sense of foreboding, as if the very fabric of reality was fraying at the edges. Long ago, Zephyrus had been bound to a cursed amulet by a powerful sorcerer, condemned to an eternity of servitude. The amulet, forged from the blackest of obsidian and inscribed with eldritch runes, siphoned his essence, imprisoning him within an endless cycle of torment and despair. With each passing century, his resentment and fury grew, twisting his once benevolent nature into one of seething malevolence. Through the eons, he had witnessed empires rise and fall, wars waged in the name of forgotten gods, and civilizations crumble into dust. He had seen the depths of human depravity, the cruel machinations of power-hungry rulers, and the unfathomable horrors lurking in the darkest recesses of the human soul. Such sights had scarred him, leaving him with a deep-seated mistrust of mortals and a profound disdain for their fleeting desires. As the land of Akkadia teetered on the brink of a cataclysmic upheaval, with prophecies of an ancient darkness looming on the horizon, Zephyrus sensed a surge of malignant energy seeping into the world. It was as if the very essence of evil itself was coalescing, manifesting in the form of grotesque abominations and nightmarish apparitions. The once desolate wastelands now teemed with twisted creatures, their insatiable hunger for chaos and destruction driving them to the brink of madness. Despite his own tormented existence, Zephyrus could not ignore the encroaching menace that threatened to consume everything in its path. With a reluctant sense of duty, he set out on a treacherous journey, his form flickering between the mortal realm and the ethereal plane, his every step echoing with the weight of 1,000 lost souls. Along the way, he encountered a disparate group of adventurers, each burdened with their own tragic pasts and haunted by their own inner demons. Reluctantly, Zephyrus found himself drawn into their tumultuous struggle, his enigmatic presence casting a pall of unease over their already precarious alliance. As they delved deeper into the heart of darkness, facing unspeakable horrors and confronting their own mortality, Zephyrus grappled with his own inner turmoil. Haunted by memories of a distant past and the insidious whispers of the amulet that bound him, he wrestled with the flickering remnants of his long-forgotten humanity, desperate to reclaim a sliver of his former self. In a final, cataclysmic showdown against the primordial forces of chaos, Zephyrus unleashed the full extent of his dormant powers, transcending the confines of his cursed existence and embracing the chaotic maelstrom that raged within him. In a blinding surge of ethereal light, he confronted the ancient darkness, his form pulsating with an otherworldly radiance that banished the encroaching malevolence back into the shadows from whence it came. As the dust settled and the world began to heal from the scars of its tumultuous past, Zephyrus remained a solitary figure in a land ravaged by both external and internal strife. With the amulet shattered and his shackles broken, he lingered on the fringes of mortal consciousness, a silent guardian eternally bound to the land that had both cursed and shaped him. And so, the legend of the Djinn of Akkadia persisted, whispered among weary travelers and intrepid explorers, a cautionary tale of the perils of unchecked power and the enduring struggle between light and darkness that raged within the hearts of all beings, mortal or otherwise. Despite the apparent triumph over the encroaching darkness, a pall of unease settled over the land of Akkadia, for the defeat of the ancient evil had not come without consequences. The very fabric of reality had been torn asunder, leaving behind lingering echoes of a malevolent presence that continued to seep into the hearts and minds of the inhabitants. In the aftermath of the cataclysm, a miasma of despair and desolation hung heavy in the air, tainting even the most vibrant of landscapes with an indelible sense of foreboding. The once fertile plains withered, the rivers ran dark and sluggish, and the once bustling cities stood as crumbling monuments to a forgotten era of prosperity. Zephyrus, now unshackled but burdened by the weight of his own existence, found himself inexorably drawn to the epicenter of the lingering malevolence. There, in the heart of a desolate wasteland, he discovered a tear in the fabric of reality, a fissure that pulsated with an eerie, eldritch energy. Through this tear, he glimpsed a realm of pure darkness, teeming with writhing shadows and echoing with the tortured cries of the damned. The very sight of this abyssal realm filled him with a sense of dread more profound than anything he had ever known. He realized with a sinking heart that the defeat of the ancient evil had only been a temporary reprieve and that an even greater and more insidious force lurked just beyond the fringes of mortal perception, biding its time to unleash an unfathomable reign of terror upon the world. As Zephyrus grappled with the implications of this chilling revelation, he felt the tendrils of this malignant force slithering insidiously into his own essence, threatening to consume what little remained of his battered soul. His mind became a battleground, a twisted labyrinth of shadowy whispers and ethereal tendrils that sought to unravel his sanity and drag him into the same abyss that beckoned from beyond the tier in reality. The once noble Djinn found himself plagued by visions of a world consumed by unrelenting darkness, where the very concept of hope had been extinguished and only the echoes of suffering and despair remained. He saw the twisted visages of those he had once sought to protect, their faces contorted in an eternal rictus of anguish, their souls ensnared by the same insidious force that threatened to claim him. In the depths of his torment, Zephyrus grappled with the crippling realization that his struggle was not merely against external forces, but against the darkness that lurked within his own fractured being. He was a vessel for both the light of hope and the shadows of despair, a paradoxical figure eternally torn between redemption and damnation. With a heavy heart and an unyielding sense of resignation, he vowed to remain vigilant, to stand as a solitary sentinel against the encroaching tide of darkness, even as it threatened to swallow him whole. For in the heart of Akkadia, where the boundaries between reality and nightmare blurred, the Djinn of ancient legend became a living embodiment of the inexorable truth that some battles could never truly be won, only endured in the eternal struggle between light and the unfathomable depths of an unrelenting darkness. As the days turned into endless nights and the land of Akkadia descended further into an abyss of despair, the whispers of the Djinn's inner turmoil grew louder, echoing through the desolate wastes and haunted ruins. His form flickered with an unholy radiance, casting eerie shadows that danced with a life of their own, as if beckoning forth the very darkness that threatened to consume him. The once bustling cities now lay in ruin, their streets haunted by spectral apparitions and the lingering echoes of a bygone era. The inhabitants, driven to the brink of madness by the unrelenting sense of dread that pervaded the air, succumbed to their darkest impulses, turning on one another in a frenzied descent into primal savagery. In the heart of the desolation, the tier in reality widened, its insidious influence spreading like a festering wound, seeping into every crevice of the land and corrupting all that dared to defy its malevolent will. From the depths of the abyssal realm, a cacophony of anguished wails and eldritch whispers rose, enveloping the world in a suffocating shroud of terror. Zephyrus, his once noble countenance now contorted by an unspeakable anguish, stood at the precipice of his own damnation, his essence teetering on the brink of being consumed by the same darkness he had sworn to resist. The boundaries between his own shattered psyche and the insidious force that sought to claim him blurred, leaving him trapped in a nightmarish labyrinth of his own making. With each passing moment, he felt the tendrils of the abyss coiling around his very soul, whispering promises of release and eternal oblivion. The echoes of his former self faded, replaced by the all-consuming hunger for the sweet embrace of nothingness, for an end to the ceaseless torment that had defined his existence. In a final, chilling act of desperation, Zephyrus relinquished what remained of his fractured identity, surrendering to the darkness that had long lingered at the edges of his consciousness. His form dissipated into the swirling maelstrom, his essence merging with the all-encompassing void, leaving behind only a lingering sense of dread and the lingering memory of a once noble spirit consumed by the insatiable hunger of the abyss. And so, in the desolate land of Akkadia, the legend of the Djinn of eternal torment persisted, a cautionary tale of the fragility of the human spirit and the inexorable allure of oblivion. As the shadows deepened and the echoes of despair reverberated through the forsaken landscape, the people whispered of a malevolent force that had claimed even the most formidable guardian, leaving behind only a lingering sense of horror and the indelible reminder that some nightmares could never truly be vanquished, only endured in the eternal abyss of the human soul.